Right, are we live? Oh, I tell you what, shoot me. Shoot me. We were live, and then all of a sudden, Cream the stream decided to do one on me. So to anyone who was watching when we were live, and I've just decided to go arseways, I am sorry. Wasn't me. I can clarify it wasn't me. So we are back, so we can talk about what we were discussing. We were talking about a bit about Eric Ten Hag, Scott McTominay and Marcus Rashford before the stream decided to, like I said, give me a slap into the face. So to anyone who was watching or commenting, don't worry, I didn't just get pissed off and go on a mad one. The stream did do one on me. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look, we basically were talking about Manchester United open to selling Scott McTominay and Marcus Rashford. Basically, they'll consider bids, anyways, for Marcus Rashford and Scott McTominay. Which, look, like I said, it's coming from the mail, so you can only take it with a pinch of salt. You can only take the sort of news with the slightest pinch of salt when it comes to the mail. It's not for Showman or David Ornstein or anything mad like that. It's the mail sport, so I take it with like the tiniest. Anyways, I take it with a pinch of salt, anyways. But that's what I do. But yeah, I mean it is. I mean, there's probably no point doing it now because it's 9:45, and it's a bit late. So probably won't get much people watching. But look, we could just have to keep grinding, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, look. Before we used to get stuck into the video, please like the video and subscribe if you haven't done so. We much appreciate it. I'd appreciate it anyways if you could like the video and subscribe, and basically let us know your thoughts on the news that we're discussing about Rashford, McTominay. We will be talking a bit about Eric Ten Hag, to get a new contract, and bit of news came out about Dan Ashworth earlier on. Newcastle basically playing hardball with us because Manchester United want to bring Dan Ashworth in, don't we? So that'd be a bit of interesting news to talk about today or tonight. But I want to start off with Rashford McTominay because we get that out of the way first, because look, it's something that we can believe. You can only discuss it. You look at the season Marcus Rashford had, very poor season. For a player like him, who was smashing it the season beforehand. Every game he played, he scored a couple of goals. Scott McTominay, sort of that player that can come on and do the job for you every now and again. This season especially, or the season that's just ended, he's played a couple of games, played a good few games actually under Eric Ten Hag, which you sort of get the impression maybe Ten Hag's a fan of him, or maybe Ten Hag just sort of didn't really have a choice to pick him. So I mean, look, McTominay sort of been a player that many people have on their transfer list. People look at McTominay, they're sort of saying, Scott McTominay, yeah, look, other selling. Then other people are saying, squad player, bring him off the bench. Maybe we could use him for that. Again, I'd never start Scott McTominay. I'd never start him every game. This is somewhere I want us to bring in a midfielder to pair alongside Kobe Mainoo. That's what I want. Scott McTominay for another year or so, playing alongside McTominay, or Kobe and Mainoo. Kobe Mainoo, yes. McTominay alongside. McTominay for me is never sort of he's not a defensive midfielder. He's sort of pushing up the field a bit more. Don't get me wrong, he's a player that comes on and puts in a shift every now and again. But then how much could you get from McTominay? If you're looking at Scott McTominay, what's the most we could get from? What people say, look, I mean, that's the thing. How much would you get for Scott McTominay? That's my question. Because players like him, they're not sort of highly rated. You can definitely see why. You don't know why Manchester United rate him. Do they highly rate him? Do they just, is he just one of those players where he's there does the job, all that sorts of stuff. But yeah, no, personally, me, I would like us to keep him. But then again, it's just one of them sort of things, really, isn't it? Where you just sort of have to sit back and see what happens. Like I think Galatasaray are also interested in McTominay and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I mean, look, we're not seeing any mad news like we've seen in previous years where PSG are interested in Rashford and all this crap. So obviously, I don't think we'll be seeing any of that. I mean, Mbappe's gone, so maybe we will, but not as of yet. But yeah, don't be surprised if you see something ridiculous that Manchester United are going to be really Rashford or PSG are going to quit for Marcus Rashford and all that bollocks. Because yeah, no thanks. Punch Paint Out Things Man says, with regards to Rashid, there's a player there, and I would let him go for less than 80 to 90 million, but not being selected for the Euros as a domino effect in his career, and McTominay is worth 30 mil. Yeah, I mean, look, that definitely is a bit of a. I'd say it's a bit of a downer for Rashford's career because Rashford, English man, Manchester United, Mancunian, all that sorts of stuff, but he's sort of always in that England setup. Like he is always in that England's team. He's always picked. Southgate always picks him. And Maguire too. Maybe that could. I wouldn't say I'd hurt Maguire as much because Maguire can just say, "Well, look, I was injured, so fair enough. That's there to protect me." But Marcus Rashford, the reason why Ten Hag didn't pick him this year, the reason why Southgate didn't pick him for the Euros is because his performances from Manchester United this season has been very, very poor. Like for a player like Rashford who smashed it the season beforehand, I think it was our top goal scorer. If he wasn't, well then he was. And then the season just finished. Like he was just like mad. It really was just mad how things went with Marcus Rashford, which is a shame because, like you say, Punch Paint, there is a player there. Like there is a player, and I definitely agree with you on that one. If we let him go for less than 80 to 90 mil, we got robbed. We got robbed, not the other teams. We got robbed. But McTominay for 30 mil, look, honestly, I'd agree with them prices. McTominay worth 30 mil, yeah. I mean, don't sell him for any less, in my opinion. Adib says, United, I want Tio Hernandez, Joan Neves, Xerxes, Coleman, Kudi, Shrimpong, Inacio, Felix, Sadiba. Again, like we say in previous streams, pal, who's paying for that? Who's paying for that? That's what I want to know. If you're going to throw a few mil in, well then sure, look, why not? But yeah, no, pal, no. I mean, that's maybe your dream sign. People have like a dream team. That's just your dream transfer sign. So yeah, but if anyone hasn't liked the video yet, please do share it around. Be much appreciated as always. I find with the algorithm on YouTube, 1 minute you can be flying, the next minute you're bloody it's like trying to was it flog a dead horse or some sound like that. Yeah, that's definitely a bit of a kick in the teeth. But look, we keep growing. That's all we can do, isn't it? But yeah, again, for Rashford who hasn't been smashing it this season, he's gotten still at least in the game time. He got it's been him. Sometimes it's been Rashford on the left, Garnacho on the right, and Rasmus up top. I mean, I think the FA Cup final, Rashford was for the season he had, it was better. I mean, whether that was just to impress Southgate, maybe that could have been the fact, but obviously it didn't impress him enough. I honestly think for Rashford's sake, it's best that he has a summer off and sorts himself out, because the last thing you want is Marcus Rashford going to the Euros and he puts in poor performances, and then all of a sudden all the English media are blaming Marcus Rashford and England getting knocked out. Don't be surprised if he can get knocked out when Manu gets the blame. You can't. If Manu was on the bench, he'd still get the blame. And the same with Maguire too. If he Manchester United always find themselves in other conversations when teams lose. So, that's definitely an interesting one. So I hope we just, Rashford can just, sit back, regroup, all that sort of stuff, because he needs to just get himself back up to scratch again and get himself back to the top Marcus Rashford. Because, well, honestly, I just, that thing, Rashford has the potential to be a good player, but he shows you one season, and then the next season, it's just, he's not consistent enough. Rashford is just not consistent enough. And I do like Rashford. Punchpaint says, if you don't keep Amrabat with Casemiro going, you have to keep McTominay. And if you don't get a striker, we won't sell Rashi. Also, Rashi seems to have one good season and one bad season. Yeah, exactly, he is. He's and again, how long we'll just say will Ten Hag or Manchester United take to say, like, someone has to tell, look, you're inconsistent. One season you're smashing, next season you're not. Whether you're just pushing yourself a lot more. I mean, look, you should be pushing yourself every season. Like, there should be no excuses. He's getting a lot of money a week. He's always in that starting 11. He never really it's very rare. It's very rarely he does get dropped. So that's one thing. And then another thing is, how much is his actual worth? Like, how much is that? I know we say, less than 80, 90 mil, we shouldn't let him go for less than that. But how much is he actually worth? Like, is he worth 80 mil? Is he worth 90 mil? Is he worth 100 mil? Like, and how far are we going to get here? I mean, you speak about Amrabat, I'd keep Amrabat. I would keep him. Like, he probably cost you 15 mil maybe. And then you have Amrabat, and then you can still bring in another midfielder. And I keep forgetting, like, I'd be very surprised if Casemiro's he plays from. In other words, I'd be surprised if Casemiro plays for Manchester United again. I would be surprised if he plays for Manchester United again, because you see, again, same with Casemiro, such a poor season. Just, it's like his legs are just gone. Really, it's like his legs are gone, and you worry because, again, Casemiro first season came in, smashed it, and we sort of went through this thing of, we have Rashford performing, Bruno. Think about Bruno. He has his good, basically he has his good and bad games. Well, so does every other football player. So that's nothing really to look at. But he does have his bad games. But we had a midfield of Eriksen. The main midfield was Eriksen, Casemiro, and Bruno. I guarantee if we played that midfield of Eriksen, Casemiro, and Bruno this year, we would have got round through. We would have got round through that midfield. I guarantee you now. Because the legs. Eriksen hasn't got the legs. Neither does Casemiro. And Bruno, you can't expect him to track back, for every single minute of the game, because Casemiro and Eriksen just can't do it anymore. Punchpaint says, when he was on the piss in Belfast, that was the beginning of his problem. Starting his car crash, and apparently he went through a breakup during this season, but that's no excuse to down tills. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I think it was it the Everton game, before the Everton game at Goodison Park. But again, I know, look, obviously breakups are tough and all that sort of stuff, and getting a car crash and getting caught because you're on the piss, is but, like, at the end of the day, your job is to play for Manchester United and put in 120%. Like, your job is not going to say, look, I'll put about 60% in to get 50-60% in today's game, and then we'll call it a day. There's none of that. You have to put in 120, but not 100%, 99%, 200% if you can, because it can get agitating. Like, as much as I love Marcus Rashford, when he's going out and he's just, the performances are just like legless, and he looks just so sluggish. You're like, honestly, you're not helping yourself. I mean, obviously he did go through a bit of a tough season. Again, going on the piss in Belfast, that was his doing. Obviously the car crash, it's never anyone's doing, and the breakup, it's never anyone's doing. A car, I think a car crash and a breakup are probably the two unexpected things. Like honestly, going on the piss is expected because that's a plan. But crashing your car or going through a breakup, you can plan a breakup, but you don't want it. So yeah, but yeah, look, I do hope that he right like next season if he stays, Rashford can improve big time again because I love Rashford. Like I said, like most Manchester United fans, look again. Obviously, most Manchester United fans are frustrated about his performances. Scott McTominay, yeah, Scott McTominay, not a bad old. For a player like him, he didn't have a bad season, did he? Like for a player like Scott McTominay, he wouldn't regularly get into the squad. For his sake, he'd probably say, "Look, well, not a bad season." That's from McTominay's sake, anyways. So that's pretty much how it is, really. Hold on a sec. Let me just sort this out. Do we go? Do we go? Do we go? But yeah, like I do hope that he can improve big time next season because again I know it's only come from the mail and that, but if it is true that we're considering offers for Rashford, should he move on? Is it just too much for him now? I wouldn't say it's too much for me because any club you go to, like Rashford is never going to go to a small club, if you get me. Like he'd go to a PSG or some big team like that. He wouldn't. I know some would say, well, maybe he should. He won't. No player who plays for a big club is then especially like Marcus Rashford or whatever. They're never going to say, right, well, I'm going to go to play, with just say Lille in France or some team like that, or I don't know. Like Rashford probably wouldn't even go near AC Milan or some teams like that. He'd like to go to a big team, and he'd like to go where the money is at as well. If the money's at PSG, and if they come in and Manchester United are willing to accept it, well then obviously maybe Rashford will say, well look, let's head off. You never know. I doubt it will happen, but again, you never know. Yeah, you just never know. When it comes to Manchester United, that's the thing about us is again it always seems to be slightly threatening that Marcus Rashford, Manchester United offers PSG, in it's always there, it's always in the mix, but nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happens. But again, if anyone hasn't liked or subscribed yet, we much appreciate it. I know we're actually live at 9:00, but the stream decided to crash, so that was like 10-15 minutes. So it's sort of fucked things up tonight, as well. But I would appreciate if people could like the video and subscribe. But again, bits of news about Dan Ashworth. Let me just get it up here in the old phone. I had it. Here we go. Again, Manchester United chasing after him. So, Manchester United are sticking to the evaluation of around £3 million for Dan Ashworth and are refusing to be held to ransom over Newcastle's compensation demands for their sporting director. Man United are nowhere near close to agreeing a deal for Dan Ashworth, as Newcastle wants £15 million plus add-ons for him to be released from his contract. Now, £15 million could give you a permanent deal for Sofia and Amrabat. £15 million could get you a cheap left back, like Kirkes, because he's been sort of in thereabouts. The Bournemouth left back and Hungarian left back. That 50 million, you could say, you could save that to put in, you could save that money for something else. But the fact that Manchester United are sticking to their £3 million valuation when Newcastle wants 15, we're £12 million behind valuation. 12 mil. Like, that's I just think 50 mil is 15 is a bit much for. I know. Look, he's he's a sporting director, but like 15 mil, like that's another, like, are we gonna be eating into our £50 million transfer budget? Like, seriously, like, are we gonna be eating into that? Is that what we have to? Is that what we have to do? I hope we don't. It's like a player, like, but again, Dan Ashworth, I know he's done bits at Newcastle, but when I seen that news yesterday morning that he'd be looking at bringing in the yes man, obviously there will be no bringing in the yes man because Ten Hag is the man, and hopefully he's a a no man, but I just hope that we don't go out there and spend. But then Manchester United, you wouldn't be surprised if we give them 15 million. You wouldn't. You just wouldn't be surprised. You just wouldn't be surprised at all. And it's never a worry, but you never hope that we basically bend over backwards and then say, well, right then, there you go, give us Dan Ashworth. You know what I mean? You hope that that's never the case. You hope Ineos are a bit more clever than that, as much as they want them. And we've been chasing after Rashford for a good bit of time now, and Newcastle are obviously making, they're playing hard ball basically for Dan Ashworth. We need to just kick on, really, just kick on and basically be like, look, he's your guy, but we cannot bend over backwards, basically, because then you could win for someone else, or you could sort something else out. But again, if we're really, 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 really interested in them, well, then we're probably gonna bring them in, and that's just how it is. That's just the facts. That will probably end up bringing them in. You know what I mean? As well. But look, let's see what happens. We'll focus on that news when it. Obviously, we're a bit away, but look, you'll never know. But again, last bit of news: Erik ten Hag is likely to be offered a 2-year contract extension to his current deal. I spoke about it a bit earlier on, not too much because yesterday night's show sort of that was more discussed about, but obviously him and Jason Wilcox, Jason Wilcox will lead transfer recruitment in the summer window, and he will work closely with Erik ten Hag on improving Man United squad. Well, look, I hope plans are put in place. Him and obviously Wilcox and Ten Hag with the news there, they'll be working very close with each other this summer and onwards to improve the squad. And look, it's not just you don't. To improve the squad, we also need to sell players as well to make room, and we need money. There's money there. There's money that could be earned from selling Greenwood, Sancho, Casemiro, and I don't know. Let's throw Maguire in there and Eriksen. And we did sell Alvaro Fernandez, so whether that would he be in. Why we sold Alvaro Fernandez, I'll never I'll never get my head around that, but again, probably game time. That's always the plan. But again, there's still news going around about Tuchel and Poch and managers like that. Basically, they were sidelined and Tuchel, impressions and all that crap. I'm going to read that, but you hope come pre-season we have a few players brought in. You hope then we have a few players brought in. And basically things are going to get better because I hope we bring in the right players. I hope Ten Hag gets a decent backing. I hope next season we can go out with a bigger, better and fresher team with a few players in there. And, this time next year we can all look back and say, well, much better season, Ten Hag the man. What a season, top 4, the trophy, lovely stuff. That's hoping. I know I wouldn't be. I'd back us to win a trophy next season and finish top four. But then again, I don't want to get too overconfident or too cocky. I don't want to do it either. That's definitely something I don't want to never do. Because last season I said we finished third place and win the. I did say we'd win the Carabao Cup, but we won the FA Cup. So we went a little better than that. So not too shabby there. But this season we got Europa League and we won an FA Cup. Basically, we just went from Champions League down to Europa League, Carabao Cup up to FA Cup. So yes, we went to FA Cup, Carabao Cup, then FA Cup, Champions League, Europa League. So we only went a level down. And if you want to make yourself real happy, we actually finished sixth. Chelsea finished 8th or 7th, and Newcastle we finished 6th. Newcastle finished 7th, and Chelsea finished 8th. Obviously, I know, Chelsea, no, sorry. Chelsea finished 7th, not fucking Newcastle. Newcastle are 8th. Obviously, we finished 8th, but you know what I mean. It's just a bit of good humour. And yeah. But look, obviously, tomorrow's another day. Let's see what happens there. I'm sure we'll get a bit more news about transfers and Ten Hag and all that sorts of stuff because again, around these times, it's never a dull day with Manchester United. I did it again tonight's stream, so I went a bit haywire. But look, we all get it done. And we're hoping the Euros watch-alongs can help us big time with the channel. And a few other collabs. But look, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks. Do like if you haven't already. Like on your way out. And subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.